The Great Debate Series. Best sports rivalries.
All right, so all week we'll be doing rivalries both on the field and off. Today we're going to start with greatest NFL rivalry, and we're talking teams here, not individuals. So the greatest NFL rivalry, Perloff, would you like to start us off?
Okay. I did not know this was a debate. I'm going to be honest. I thought everyone assumed that it was one of two, but really one rivalry. I thought it was clearly Dallas-Washington. Because whenever you see the two teams play, the announcer's always like, welcome to the greatest rivalry in NFL history, Washington versus Dallas. I did some research. It's at the top of Sports Illustrated's NFL list of rivalries, top of ESPN's list of NFL rivalries. I looked at a lot of all sports rivalries, and it was usually the only NFL one in there. It's just a classic rivalry. Now, listen, I understand your criticism already.
Yes.
When this is 2000, what does this matter? Because since Daniel Snyder took over Washington, neither team has been a contender. But there are no rivalries anymore. Rivalries don't even matter anymore because of free agency. Basically, players are more loyal to their agents than they are the teams. So in the heyday of NFL rivalries, this was the king of the mountain and therefore the greatest rivalry ever. And it started, I looked at some of the history in 1960 when the Cowboys were trying to form. Washington tried to block them for the weirdest reason, because Washington was the southernmost team in the NFL and had a lot of Southern fans, and they didn't want Texas in the mix. Seems pretty quaint now. The other thing, too, is they've done multiple rearrangements of the divisions, and they've always made sure, including one time, they drew names out of a hat to decide who's in the NFC East. And apparently, Pete Rozelle, the former commissioner, luckily picked the NFC East for Dallas out of one random hat. Sounds
Did
a little
he
bit.
Freeze them slips of paper?
There's a lot of rumors out there that was completely fixed. Yeah. So they always keep Dallas in the NFC East. 2002, they redid the divisions, keep Dallas in the NFC East. That's because of this rivalry, and also because the Giants and the Eagles. But I always wondered, why is Dallas in the NFC East? As a kid, I was really curious about that. It's because of this rivalry. It's the most impactful rivalry in NFL history.
All right. Well, I actually think that Dallas Cowboys or Dallas Giants is so equal to me to Dallas Washington. It's like they're all the same to me. That's why I don't think that it's the greatest rivalry. And I'm going to go to something a little more current. I know a lot of people are going to say Packers Bears. I get Packers Bears started in the 1920s, but that hasn't been relevant in a long time. What has been relevant in our immediate lifetimes that we can remember, not black and white TV, Steelers Ravens. Guys, it took over as the greatest rivalry in the NFL. And that's saying something considering the Ravens only came into existence in 1996. So this has been like a quarter century. And think about all of the history. I mean, you're talking about names: Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Haloti Ngata, Terrell Suggs. And then on the Steelers side, Polamalu, James Harrison, Roethlisberger, Santonio Holmes. I mean, you get highlights like this.
Flacco throws over the middle, intercepted by Polamalu at the 40, near side 35 at the 30. He's at the 25, running to his right side. He's picking up some free space on the far side at the 20, 15, 10, 5. He's in, touchdown! Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl! A 40-yard return by Troy Polamalu. They're going nuts here in Pittsburgh.
The teams matter. They always matter. Even if they might miss the playoffs, like for a shade here or there, the teams are always vying for playoff positioning. Very rare they have down years. Play in the playoffs a lot, as you just heard that Polamalu highlight from the AFC Championship game. Huge. Now, you can't hit as big as you did in the early 2000s, so I don't know where the rivalry goes. But now, I think that's the best rivalry we have in the NFL.
Aren't the Bengals up in the mix for both of these teams right now?
Aren't the Giants Cowboys also a good rivalry, or Eagles Cowboys?
Remember Vontae's Perfect and took out Antonio Brown, then Juju took out Vontae's Perfect. I thought there was a lot of hatred. So I would argue that that's a little watered down by other divisional rivals. And yes, of course, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and Giants, Cowboys are huge rivalries, but they're not famous like the Washington Dallas. I keep saying Washington. Obviously, we know what the
old
team
nickname,
the old nickname.
But see, that's the thing. It's the old nickname.
Yeah.
Like this is that's so far not even in our minds right now.
All current day rivalries are ephemeral. in the sense that they pass quickly. The Ravens-Steelers is obviously going to be a big deal, but you're depending on both those teams being elite. Like right now, Kansas City and Cincinnati are these great rivals, but that could go away in 2 years.
Right.
So they don't have the team.
This has been 25 years here for the Ravens and Steelers.
Has it really, though?
Yeah, it really has.
I don't know. I know when Palomalo was there, they used to hit. I mean, you just played a Joe Flacco highlight, for God's sake.
Joe Flacco's still in the league.
That's an NFL. I mean, this is we're talking greatest of all time in NFL history. Flacco? I don't know that
got intercepted. I mean, I wasn't sure giving you the Flacco to Jacoby, whatever, Jacoby
and
Jones.
even though, what was last year was Pickett versus Tyler Huntley, probably. I don't even know. Like, I don't even feel like right now those are each other's biggest rivals. I guess they are. But the rest of the AFC North has kind of gotten into that mix. So that's the only. Yeah, it's super intense, and there's a lot of blood on the field, and they're totally crazy. It is. I will give you right now, it is the most intense one right now. But greatest of all time, I don't feel that's fair to say because of the way rivalries have been passed over in the NFL.
Well, then it should be Packers Bears if we're going all time because they played each other the most.
That's the longest rivalry.
Longest rivalry, right? We're talking greatest. So
greatest and longest are different words.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that.
I mean, they're high up. There are a lot of great historical rivalries. We looked at, I mean, you want to say some of the other ones you looked at? Because I've done like 10 specials on this at SI. And when I was at NFL Films, I've studied all these rivalries and watched all the big games. But they kind of stop after 2000 because the league just changes too quickly.
Yeah, that's right. 855-212-4CBS, 855-212-4227. So I did look at Steelers-Ravens, and I did look at Bears, Packers, and then I looked at Steelers, Cowboys was another one from the 70s. And then I also looked at, I think that was basic.
Chiefs Raiders.
Chiefs Raiders was another one I looked at over the weekend.
The Niners and the Rams used to have a pretty intense one when they were out there, I believe. All the AFC East ones, the Dolphins and Bills had a lot going in the 90s. Right,
yeah,
Marino versus Kelly.
Definitely. And then like Jets, Patriots.
Jets, Dolphins hated each other.
So to me, it kind of like they kind of like X'd each other out. It was like they cannibalize each other because everyone's got a story with each other. Yeah. But like, you want to know what really almost tilted me towards Chiefs Raiders was watching the quarterback series on Netflix. And Mahomes talks about how much he hates the Raiders and how big this is for him. And you think he wasn't telling the truth, but he's pretty convincing in the documentary that he really does have like he feels the rivalry with the Raiders clearly more than anyone but the Bengals.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like a division foe.
Yeah. I mean, any division foe. What do you think of the Eagles Cowboys or the Eagles Giants?
I think Eagles Cowboys and Eagles Giants to me is right there. Yeah. Eagles Giants has been kind of lopsided recently though, with the Eagles winning a lot. But
but that was years of Parcells destroying them.
It's true.
So I think it's a little revenge because the Eagles have one Super Bowl, the Giants have two.
The Giants have four.
Yeah, the Giants have just had so much more big success. Eagles Cowboys was really intense. Who's Buffalo's? Would you say biggest one?
Hard to say. I mean, I think everyone wants to say New England, but it really wasn't a rivalry for so long.
Yeah.
So maybe Miami, if you want to go back to Brian Cox giving the finger to all the Bills fans, that personally offended me as a 9-year-old. I would say that, although. I don't know. I don't think there is like a specific one for the Bills.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, but there's definitely a rival. I watch those AFC East teams. I feel rival.
But like the fake spike with Marino with the Jets, I mean that against the Jets.
When Shula watered the field against the Jets,
the Mud Bowl,
that was a big one. 81. You know what's going to be a good one this year though? Aaron Rodgers with the Jets first week against the Bills. I feel like this could be a good rivalry.
Are you kidding? Wait, it's not going to be Rodgers against the Bills. That's the big rivalry.
Yeah.